And so we're going to pull out of that particular piece. DeWitt, I wanted to ask you, though, about that arrest a year before. You know, the Judge Cahill made a ruling and then he stepped back from that ruling. It seems to me that the ruling is now that the reason that that arrest from the year before is going to get in is for medical reasons. A year before, when George Floyd was arrested, he had a hypertensive emergency and had to be taken to the hospital. And that, Judge Cahill ruled, is relevant to the cause of death argument here. What did you think of that ruling?
I think that's fair, but and that kind of cuts both ways. You know, the prosecution can use that too, right? Because it shows that he has some type of hypertensive reaction to either police contact or being brought into custody. Now, the thing is that law enforcement, even though they may not be aware of his prior encounters with other law enforcement officers, they still have a duty to take care for someone who's in their custody. And I think that's where it kind of gets tricky for the defense in being able to, I guess, mitigate some of the liability here.
Yeah, and it's a great point, and it's a point that Blackwell made in his opening, take care, and he mentioned that that's a verb. You have to care for the people in your custody. I thought that that was a very salient point in his opening. I think also, as you said, DeWitt, it cuts both ways because in that prior interaction with police, while you do see George Floyd not listening to police, not following instructions, you also see the police handling it in a way that does not end in George Floyd dying. So as much as the prosecution may have regretted that piece of evidence getting in, they can certainly use it, can't they?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, you never want any evidence to come in like that where it can possibly demonize your client, or I guess Floyd is not their client, but the subject of this prosecution. That's unfortunate in some circumstances, but in others, like you said, there's a silver lining to that cloud. You can say, well, this is an example of good policing, and this is how Chauvin should have acted. But of course, they didn't. And now Floyd is dead because they acted not only irresponsibly, but intentionally wrongfully and killed George Floyd.
Ladies and gentlemen, we expect that when we come back from this next break, court will be live. We will be listening to the next witness. We believe that's going to be an audio witness. You want to stay tuned for this.